Right now, the international football establishment is facing an absolute structural collapse after the world's biggest legends officially broke their silence on the Spain versus Argentina World Cup Final, exposing the rigged database filters and hidden administrative protections that tried to force a predetermined outcome. The fragile barrier between raw human athletic merit and hyper-commercialized sports entertainment has been completely destroyed inside the maximum pressure tracking networks. Hours ago, a massive institutional crisis exploded across global media networks when elite European stars and independent pundit panels joined forces to expose how the central database servers were systematically manipulated to safeguard a single corporate asset. With Zurich's executive boardroom confronting a total compliance lockdown and unredacted player reactions shattering the illusion of transparency, the Ultimate World Championship match has dissolved into a dangerous economic war zone that permanently paralyzed global broadcasting revenue distributions and crashed corporate market values on live television. The high-stakes reality of the post-tournament verification hours has officially delivered its most highly volatile institutional gridlock on American soil. To the casual sports consumer streaming the final trophy reviews, Spain's dramatic victory and Lionel Messi's historic heartbreak represent a pristine, highly standardized calculation of pure athletic drama. But behind the closed doors of the localized venue management facilities, a secret data tracking war has turned into an absolute criminal matrix. The moment the final whistle blew, sealing Argentina's defeat, a massive technological bomb exploded across international social media networks. Real Madrid and German football maestro Toni Kroos dropped a blistering, unredacted public statement that completely tore away the veil of clean administrative transparency. Kroos went directly on record with a devastating four-word evaluation, stating, quote, "Today, football has won." To the independent media desks watching from the media gantry, the sheer weight of this statement from a neutral titan confirmed the underlying friction that had been building inside the player camps for weeks. It was a direct acknowledgement that an organic, pure athletic blueprint had successfully broken through a heavily engineered backroom corporate structure designed to manufacture a specific, pre-written fairy tale ending. The true corporate crime manifested with brutal precision when independent sports science networks began running detailed forensic audits of the complete tournament tracking data. Pundit panels and technical analysts across the globe have stepped forward to break their silence, exposing an asymmetric application of the rulebook that defies the basic boundaries of fair play. The compiled match sheets reveal a staggering parameter. Throughout the grueling knockout tiers, Argentina's defensive line executed nearly 70 tactical fouls while receiving an unbelievably small fraction of standard yellow card punishments. This structural immunity stood in stark contrast to how uncompromised European and African challengers were treated within the system. Rising squads and independent contenders were systematically subjected to hyper-technical, automated video assistant referee reviews where millimeter-thin offside tracking lines and unforced physical contacts resulted in instant straight red cards. Global analysts are pointing out that the corporate controllers deliberately suppressed disciplinary thresholds for a single roster to preserve their market shelf life in the advanced brackets, ensuring that their primary commercial draws remained active for primetime consumer ad impressions. To understand why this exact investigative documentary completely dominates the algorithm loop right now, you have to look at how modern automated tracking software and telemetry tracking lines have been transformed into a corporate management weapon. For decades, the governing structures in Zurich operated like an independent corporate empire, dictating terms to host countries and claiming absolute immunity from local data protection and consumer privacy frameworks. They introduced high-end automated telemetry under the guise of absolute scientific precision, yet the underlying algorithmic parameters remain entirely proprietary, hidden from the public behind layers of encryption. This asymmetric technical barrier allows the sports cartel to quietly steer the competitive and economic equilibrium of the tournament, cultivating exclusive, highly protective digital pathways for elite global commercial brands while applying restrictive data processing to thin out rival market competitors ensures that their global corporate portfolio values remain heavily insulated under a false veil of objective neutrality. But when confronted by Spain's organic, high-intensity athletic blueprint on the turf, the corporate script faced an absolute breakdown. Argentina's high-yield front line was completely zeroed out by the Spanish defensive grid, failing to register a single shot on target during the entire championship sequence, a statistical collapse that exposed the artificial nature of their advanced bracket run. Let's follow the money, because this is where the raw, unyielding capitalism driving this institutional crisis reaches an absolute boiling point. The final match cycle is the single most lucrative commercial property in the entertainment industry, relying on historical premiums paid by international television syndicates and global streaming conglomerates. The entire financial architecture operates on the explicit legal guarantee of broadcasting a seamless, globally synchronized, high-energy entertainment product that drives peak consumer ad impressions. The depth of the boardroom desperation manifested during a highly suspect anomaly in the second half of the final match. Television executives watched in absolute shock as a brilliant, fluid Spanish scoring play was instantly wiped off the live record by match officials without the refereeing panel even conducting a standard, visible video assistant review on the arena monitors. The system attempted to execute an electronic wipe from the shadows, making the goal disappear like magic without providing any camera verification or replay tracking loops to the viewing public. This dramatic turning point convinced many supporters that Spain's relentless momentum could no longer be ignored. Throughout the tournament, every successful attack, every confident defensive sequence, and every decisive tactical adjustment reinforced the belief that this young squad had developed an identity built on courage, discipline, and fearless football. Regardless of the noise surrounding the competition, the players continued to focus entirely on their performances on the pitch, refusing to let outside distractions define their campaign. The conversation after the final quickly turned toward the emergence of a new generation led by Lamine Yamal. At just 19 years old, he became one of the tournament's biggest stars, delivering composed performances under intense pressure. His technical ability, confidence, and creativity convinced many observers that football has found another exceptional talent capable of shaping the game's future. Alongside him, Nico Williams played a vital role throughout Spain's championship run. His pace, intelligent movement, and attacking threat perfectly complemented Spain's dynamic style, giving supporters confidence that Spanish football has entered an exciting new era. As celebrations spread across social media, joyful moments from the Spanish dressing room highlighted the unity between players, coaches, and staff. Those scenes reminded fans worldwide that teamwork, determination, and talent remain the foundations of success. At the same time, discussions surrounding the tournament continued beyond the pitch. Broadcasters and media organizations closely monitored audience reactions as debates over transparency and governance gained attention online. Some supporters expressed frustration and called for greater accountability, while others remained focused on Spain's remarkable achievement. Despite the controversy, the tournament will ultimately be remembered for Spain's triumph and the arrival of a talented new generation ready to shape international football. Meanwhile, the tournament itself has reached its sporting conclusion, but the wider debate continues. The administrative disputes surrounding officiating standards and competition governance have become as prominent as the matches themselves, raising difficult questions about how modern football balances sporting integrity with expanding commercial interests. Critics argue that when financial incentives, broadcasting contracts, technological controversies, and administrative decision-making dominate public attention, the focus inevitably shifts away from the extraordinary talent displayed by the athletes on the pitch. Tournament leadership now faces a defining moment. Moving forward, they must decide whether to concentrate primarily on protecting commercial momentum and investor confidence, or pursue meaningful structural reforms designed to strengthen transparency, restore public trust, and reinforce the principle that football's greatest value has always been the unpredictable brilliance of the players themselves rather than the commercial systems that surround the game. What do you think? Did the football stars make the right move by breaking their silence and exposing the tournament's backroom formatting, or should they have remained silent to protect the sport's commercial imaging? Sound off with your deep analytical breakdown in the comments below. Smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to keep your index fresh on the real world of hidden sports corruption, and we will see you at the next file breakdown.